Because in one of the most recent live streams, all of the gifts received by this 32-year-old prisoner who's Albanian imprisoned in the UK by the name of Yugurt Marizaj reportedly totaled up to about $20,000 in just a 7-minute live stream. GG. Those are
In
some
7
insane
minutes.
numbers.
Never shoot kid from a gangster.
Prisoner made 20K from TikTok live stream inside a prison. That is crazy, bro. That's wild. Video about Tozy, bro. Let's see what's popping.
To a high security Albanian. This TikToker is being transferred to a high security Albanian prison because he did a 7-minute live stream from within his cell in the UK.
How did he even manage that, bro?
A hot streak when it comes to insane titles because what is this? So welcome back to another episode of How Is This Title Down Here Real?
Facts.
Because it is, but I do use TikToker lightly, considering any notoriety this guy has is more likely due to the fact that he was involved in a group of people who lured a guy in 2019 who was a rival dealer. They lured him into this area and ended his life with a shotgun to the face.
Damn.
So,
that has to be like the worst 2 seconds of your life. A shotgun slug to the face. Bro, you know that he don't... None of this exists no more after that shot. At all, bro.
So he was convicted of murder in 2022 and has spent
Literally
his life
blew that
behind
nigga head
bars
off.
since then. But according to a whole bunch of articles, since he was behind bars, he spent his time trying to smuggle in various phones so he could post on social media. Even going as far as using drones to get his phones into him so he could make social media content. But what did he do once he finally got a phone inside of jail? Well, he started taking photos of videos of him vaping, posted up in his cell, flexing some designer clothing, and complaining about UK food.
Bruh, hold on. How did he manage to get away for this long? You know what I'm saying? What's the method? Like, bruh, what? I can't even believe this, bruh. I ain't even gonna lie to you.
Getting extra prison time to smuggle in a phone so he could complain about how bad the UK food is.
I'm saying.
So, that might speak volumes of the UK food. But if you watched my last video, you might know how much I love a good beef stew, and the UK definitely makes an amazing beef stew. So I guess they're just not serving that in prisons over there. But honestly, why would they?
Whoa.
What's that?
I just built a budgeting app in Base 44.
Guys, need to
They? But that was his original kind of content. So it was just like, you know, vaping, complaining about the
I wonder
food.
how much time
But
he
then
was serving
he decided
originally.
to move on to something else on TikTok, and this is what raised a whole bunch of alarms because he started live streaming. And on these live streams, apparently, people start donating quite a bit of money to do his like TikTok live battles. So people
No
would, like,
fucking
throw
way, bruh.
galaxies and roses and all the stuff we've been through when we talked about the TikTok NPC streamers back in the day. But apparently these live streams have been happening on and off for a few years. And this is why the UK now is saying...
Few years? He's been doing this for a few years, bruh. And y'all just now catching on to him. I don't know what... Either he is a master at, like, concealing himself, or, like, y'all guards must suck. Because, like, there's no way he got away with this for a few years.
It's actually time to transfer him back to Albania because we don't want to deal with him anymore. So essentially they're like, yo, you just finish your sentence over there because you're not our problem anymore. Because in one of the most recent live streams, all of the gifts received by this 32-year-old prisoner who's Albanian imprisoned in the UK by the name of Yugurt Marizaj reportedly totaled up to about $20,000 in just a 7-minute live stream. GG. Those are
In
some
7
insane
minutes?
numbers. I have never touch numbers like that in 7 minutes ever. So whatever this guy was doing on live stream was apparently very entertaining and very valuable for a whole lot of people because this dude somehow figured out how to go from posting dumb clips of him complaining about the food to doing live streams lasting 7 minutes making 20 grand. It sounds a little off to me. Like, I know this happened.
Sound more than a little off.
How did the 20 grand in 7 minutes happen? And was this some way of hiding a payment for something that happened? I don't know, but it doesn't quite make sense to me. Regardless, 20 grand in 7 minutes is outrageous. Congratulations to him. But my main question is, who is giving him this money? Like, I mean, I understand the shock value of, oh wow, look, a prisoner he's in prison. He's battling another person. But like 20 grand in 7 minutes? Because I know shocking content does very well, especially on TikTok. I mean, you had all of cartel talk running around, and you also had like the Somali pirate TikTok going on. So obviously they're shocking. And obviously, prison talk has also been a thing for a while. But this is like the highest earning prison talk streamer in the shortest amount of time that I've ever heard of, for sure. Just to put things in perspective, I don't think that what's her name? The Pinky Doll NPC streamer. I don't think she ever made 20 grand in 7 minutes. I know they were making serious money, but I don't think it was that much. I think people like Pinky Doll would probably make up to 100 grand on some of her like peak days, but that was from like streaming for like 6 to 7 hours. I hate that
That's still fucking impressive, bro. 106 figures in 6 hours. Crazy, bro. It's a lot of down bad niggas, bro. Y'all need to get y'all life together.
those two numbers after each other because we're now in 2026 and that's just now a cursed number to say. But it was, you know.
You see, I wasn't even thinking of it like that, but you just had to incorporate that. I told you just had to add the numbers together, didn't you?
6 to 8 hours of streaming would yield her 100 grand, I think, when she was at her like pinnacle of streaming. This guy, 20 grand, 7 minutes. Where's the money coming from? I don't know. And then you have the side of like, hey, when you're donating to someone in prison, what were their crimes? Who are you funding here? Because as I mentioned earlier, Ugert, he wasn't arrested for some like petty traffic offense over here. No, he and a group of criminals decided to lure in a dealer who was a rival of them, and they decided to end his life with a shotgun to the face. So, he's not really the best person to be, donating money to. You can't really say that what he did was just an oopsie. But his sentencing was in 2022, and to be fair to him, he wasn't the one who allegedly pulled the trigger. He was just part of the people who lured the guy in there. But he was still heavily involved with the planning of what happened, was sentenced to 32 years in prison. And allegedly, Ugert also bought an axe and helped lure rival dealer Hemawan Ali Hussein into a home in Hartlepool County, Durham. No way is this happening in Durham. No way. Are you serious? Wait, Hartlepool. I used to live in Durham. Hartlepool County, Durham. There is no way, dude. I mean, okay, so this...
That's a different Durham, isn't it? Hold on. Hang on a second. That's got me curious for a second. Hang on now. You know, hang on now. Hartford County, Durham. Bro, this is in my city. Bruh, ain't no way that this is in my city, bruh.
like far.
You know, there's not too many places called Durham, bro. What?
Durham, like near the cathedral. Used to hang out at Fighting, I think was the the bar there. I think it was Fighting. I don't know. It's like red on the outside. It was fun times. I was very poor back then, but it was fun regardless. Wait, let's see. Let's drop in. Let's drop it on Google Maps on Durham. I want to see what it's called. I'm pretty sure it was Fighting. I wonder if the sushi spot is still there. I used to get that sushi spot all the time. And before you were like, oh wait, you were I thought you were broke. No, this was some cheap sushi. This is probably questionable sushi, honestly, because of how cheap it was. But hey, a whole lot of early day YouTube ad revenue definitely went to that sushi shop. Durham Castle. There it is. Crossgate Bridge. Oh, there's a Starbucks here now? What the? Yep. Fighting. All right. It's not red anymore, though. What'd they do? Is the sushi spot still there? Nope. It's called Malatang Express. 10-pound meals. Okay. Malatang Express. Used to be a sushi spot. RIP. Well, I went off track here. Anyway, so this happened close to where I used to live for a little while. But back to him buying an axe near County Durham, or in County Durham. An axe sounds pretty grotesque for me, but honestly, that's kind of just par for the course when it comes to crime in the UK, it seems like, because you can't always get a firearm. Clearly, they can get firearms in there, but it's not as easy. So, in the UK, instead of Kevlar, you should...
Oh, hang on a second, though. Never mind, it's not in my city. Because he did say the UK, so never mind.
Chainmail, because odds are anyone trying to attack you probably has a knife over a firearm. But, hey... I digress. In the U.S., you have to get really good at like that quick draw, the sleight of hand. Like if someone attacks you, you're like, what? In the U.K., you have to go on guard. But regardless, the dude bought an axe, and the guy ended up losing his life to a shotgun instead. So,
Damn.
either way, that's not really someone you want as your neighbor. But he then fled to Belgium, but was then arrested there and extradited back to the UK. And then on top of that, he pretty quickly started smuggling phones in to participate in his TikTok live streams in prison, as I mentioned earlier. And again, he was risking it all to flex his vape, his gaming console, and, you know, complain about that UK food. And it also seemed like he was pretty unfazed when it came to the legality of it and said, at the time, even if it was confiscated, he'd just buy another phone. And he also claimed that each phone that he had to buy in prison cost $2,000. So apparently they tax in there. But he started all these TikTok lives in August of 2023. And there he went live daily for about 5 minutes. And he was bringing in about $10, $20 each time. Still illegal, but you know, big difference from the $20,000 in one stream. And what's interesting is TikTok even said that they were going to ban him, but they relied on the prisons to actually report which TikTok accounts were actually being used from prison. And the prison service also said that phones are not tolerated in prisons, and those who break the rules face tough punishment, including extra time behind bars. But I guess nobody enforced this with him, because he was streaming for like 2 years behind bars. And what's also
That's what I'm
ironic
saying,
is,
bro.
in a now deleted clip posted on August of 2025, he begged to be transferred back to a prison in Albania so he could be closer to family and avoid the terrible UK food. It's also reported that he was going live and playing games for tokens that he could exchange for money. So again, the guy is hustling. But it is
Real
crazy that
hustler
Mark
right
didn't
there.
Stop him from acquiring a phone. But I guess the crux of his whole frustration seemed to stem from the fact that he was trapped in a UK prison. Okay, maybe you don't go to the UK and commit a whole bunch of crimes then. But he was upset with that. He was upset that he had to speak English and eat bad food. And he was also just very confused in why they wouldn't deport him out of the UK, because he kept breaking the rules and making a mockery of the prison system and costing UK taxpayers even more money. And when he was asked when he was expected to be sent home, he told his viewers, "I've done all the applications. It seems to me that those of us serving life sentences are not moving at all." But fast forwarding 6 months, he's still locked in prison eating, I guess, beans and toast or whatever they eat over there in prison. And he just decided to go live, and he made $20,000 in a 7-minute stream. And that's when the UK government went, uh-oh, now we have to do something about this guy. So then they deported him to Albania. So a Ministry of Justice spokesperson was quick to say, "This behavior is completely unacceptable. We've taken immediate action to ensure that these posts are removed and are urgently investigating this incident." But it is kind of funny the dude just kept breaking the rules for like years. But
Okay, he's like that one bad kid in class. Like, no matter what the teacher did as punishment, like, he just still kept acting up. That's what this nigga is, bro. Relentless.
until he made 20 grand in 7 minutes, they were like, whoa, okay, get him out of here. Like, here's a picture of him, and I guess he's quite comfy in jail. Dude, he's rocking his
Bruh, he got some Dolce Gabbana shoes on. I saw that
Gabbana
Louis belt.
trainers. Hands down, some of the ugliest shoes you could possibly buy for way too much money. Those probably cost over $1,000, and boy, are they ugly. But hey, at least he is living pretty comfortably in jail, it seems like, especially making 20 grand in 7 minutes. But just because you make money doesn't mean that you have taste, clearly. But it is safe to say that his TikTok live spree is probably coming to an end now, with his most recent account up at like 45,000 followers being permanently banned. So, I don't know. Unless he just picks off where he left off in a new prison in Albania, which honestly could very well happen, but he would have to start from zero. For now, at least, though, it seems like he's on a hiatus from TikTok live streams. But who knows? He might be in an Albanian prison soon, panhandling for some roses and galaxies and cowboy hats and whatever else they donate on TikTok Live. But I thought this was just a crazy story I wanted to cover.
This was a show for show a crazy story right here, bro. This nigga ran up 20 racks while in prison off a TikTok live stream. And he's been doing stuff like this for 2 years, and they just now catching his ass. Bruh, this is a real deal hustler. He took that title to a new limit. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comment section, bruh. I'll catch y'all on the next one, bro. Hey, if you like the video, then like the video. And if you want to see more reactions, subscribe. I love y'all.
Shout out to my twin. Ain't never seen tears from a gangster, so why the world want me to cry? Fighting depression, talk to them spirits, use them judges that help me get by. But I cannot lie, yeah, that shit hurt me bad when I got that call, told me you died. Like how the fuck can they take you? Man, I hope I wake up, it's a lie.